I have some bad news for you if you want to become a published author. But luckily, I also have a solution. Believe me, I understand how hard it is to be a writer and an author. I have written over 40 books in 35 years. You are probably not always going to like being a writer or a published author. So the real work is figuring out how to get through the moments of writer's block. And if I'm being honest, it's sometimes really miserable. When you make the breakthroughs, it is incredibly rewarding, and you grow not only as a writer or author, but also as a human. So here are the 3 hardest parts of what it's actually like to be an author. Number 1, editing sucks. I hate my first draft. They are dull and winding, and they make no sense. And they've often taken the most amount of brain power because I don't have the full structure or story yet. So not to mention I have extreme ADHD, so it's really hard because I'm not that stimulated while I'm first writing. And that's the point. Most of the time writing is incredibly mundane. You're not gonna wake up every day going, I wanna write today. But if it's your goal to become an author, then the goal is understanding who you are to put structures in place to support those goals. That can include setting time amounts or time limits for how long to write, having background noise, music, television, animals all over the place, so I have a lot of stimulation coming in. Or it can be putting together layouts, table of content, structure, a road, so it takes less brain power. Because motivation is fleeting, but systems are sustainable. Number 2, becoming an author, not just a writer, but an author, is going to require a lot of sacrifice. Some of the sacrifices are going to depend on your personality. For me, I go to bed by 7:30, so I can get up at 4, so I can write when I'm my most intelligent. I don't go on late dates. I don't see friends when I'm in a deadline. I don't even answer my phone half the time if I'm really involved in a project. Raising my kids, I was writing through those decades. I just brought my laptop everywhere. I was the unfriendly mom sitting at baseball under the awning who would type away, maybe eat popcorn, but not talk to anybody. People don't really know how to take somebody really dedicated to their writing. Sometimes I take that personally, when people judge me because of that. If you're really going to be an author, it will require some uncomfortable sacrifices. And it's understanding your values, what's important to you, what you need, and how you're going to do it. For instance, I never sacrificed my parenting. I never gave up a moment that I could do my own parenting. I didn't sacrifice my most important relationships, but I made a lot of other sacrifices. And that's what it comes down to really be an author. It's trade-offs. Get to decide what trade-offs you want to make and which ones you don't. Final hardship around becoming an author is that there are relationships you're gonna lose or that aren't gonna work. You're gonna miss dinners, you're gonna miss hangouts, you might even miss birthdays. Whatever it is, it's a fine line between how much energy to put into a deadline and how to show up really honestly most of the time to just people please. And that's why it comes back to knowing who you are, finding out who you really are and what's essential and important to yourself. I know I was able and still do set up community around me where people accept who I am. They know I may not show up at a Friday night dinner party, but I'll call them, I'll care about them, they're gonna call and care about me. And so it's still important to have love with self-acceptance and others accepting. Whether you're seeking to be an author or a pianist or the best parent in the world or dog walker, all the same. Deciding the person you want to become and moving toward becoming that person. And we do that by deciding what's valuable in our life, the relationships we want in our life, and the systems that will help us achieve our goals, which are going to include writing if you want to be an author. And these are the foundations of becoming the writer or the author that you want to be. I have 35 years of writing experience and 40 books. I have an amazing program, Energetic Writing Method, coming up through the Shift Network. Take advantage of learning my do's and don'ts.